Hi guys, and welcome to episode 64 of the Crochet Cakes podcast. My name is Claire and you can find me as Crochet Cakes anywhere on the internet. You can also look up my blog, crochetcakes.com, and you can just, write to me if you feel like writing to me via email at crochetcakespodcast@gmail.com. And I believe that is all the intro admin stuff because it's been way too long since I recorded a podcast, you guys. It's been 2 months since there has been a podcast on this channel. Right before the wedding, I did record a podcast episode with my mom, and you can find it if you go to Mine and Muse Crafts podcast here on YouTube. And I'll obviously put the link down below because all the links to everything I talk about will be in the down bar below, just for, easier access and in case you don't really understand me today, because right as I sat down to record this podcast, I've just been hit with allergies. Allergies are killing me right now. But I have so much to share with you. The last time I talked to you guys, I just had a fiance. Now I have a husband. I used to live in an apartment and now we own a house, which is incidentally where I am recording from. I'm actually recording from the kitchen. So what you see behind me here is the living room area. I have no craft corner per se, because it is still under construction, and I will actually be sharing the craft corner with my husband, who's got his computer and all his gaming equipment in there. So it's a shared space and we're still trying to organize it. And really, for me, it won't be too much of a craft corner. It'll just be a room where I keep all the crafting equipment. My craft corner will actually be outside that room, not outside the house, just outside that room right next to the kitchen. There's like a little alcove space and I have my desk there, but my sewing equipment and everything else is in the craft room. So I guess I have half a craft room here and half a craft room there. But yes, what can I tell you guys? There's just simply way too much to tell you that I had to write it down, and I'm pretty sure I missed like half of the things. So let's just, first talk about the wedding. The wedding was, I don't even know how to describe it. It was nerve-wracking. I went to the beauty salon, had my hair done, makeup. I'll include some pictures here if I can find some pictures that will be for the full screen, not just like half. But we got married, and even though we were at the venue for 6 hours, it felt like 20 minutes. Food was delicious, cake was delicious, my dress was gorgeous, Edison looked super handsome, and it was, I think we all had it. So yeah, wedding was fun, and we got married, which was the end goal. The food was great, the dancing was fun, we had ice cream, the cake was delicious, and personally, I think it looked marvelous. And crochet represented because I was wearing a Crochet Fascinator. I made it myself with some of Mom's help, and I said, let's see if I can actually film a podcast today. It's Sunday, and I thought it was gonna be, easy going because Edison was gonna leave the house and he was gonna go play airsoft, but it's already 10-11 in the morning, and this is my 6th try of recording a podcast. I had a lot of people going in and out of the house. The dog decided to eat. It's just a whole mess of noises. And I honestly just completely forgot what I was talking to you about. So I guess I will start after the wedding. After the wedding, we just stayed a week in Puerto Rico. We didn't really have a honeymoon per se, even though I feel that week was a honeymoon. We went just out with a lot of friends that stayed over during the wedding, and we met up with them, we hung out, we did a lot of tourist things, and then we came back. I started a new job, which I'll talk more about a lot later. And I didn't feel any of the crochet inspiration, didn't feel like crocheting at all. And I'm pretty sure that was due to the 30-something succulents and cacti I crocheted for the wedding, which I'm still really happy I did, but I think they sucked all the crochet life out of me. And if you're interested in reading more about crochet weddings and things I did that were related to crochet for the wedding, then please go check out my blog. I have 2 posts. One is the Crochet Fascinator, which is a pattern / recipe on how to make a crochet fascinator. And then the second one is the Perfect Crochet Wedding, and that was a podcast related to all the things I crocheted for the wedding. So I'll of course include the link down to my blog below, and you can head over and read if it's something that interests you, or if you want to learn in detail about the crochet items I, crocheted. But yes, so the crafting mojo had just really fled, and then as I mentioned, I started work, and I work from 8:30 to 5:30, so I have to leave the house around 8, and then I get back around 6:15, so it crocheting just didn't feel right, you know? I felt like it was all upside down. Then we moved. I believe I mentioned that, but we moved. We now live in our house, which we have purchased, and we're still not done unpacking. I think the last room we still need to unpack is actually the craft room / office, because we need to buy more furniture to put things away. And when Edison and I buy furniture, it's like a war. It really is. We both have such different tastes in furniture. I like vintage cottage feel furniture. He likes minimal modern furniture, and I like light colored furniture because I think our house is pretty dark. Edison loves dark colored furniture. It's a forever argument between us. So deciding on furniture is really hard. And it's kind of hilarious when you think back on it, that you're really just having these little disputes about furniture because we really need it, but we're both kind of pulling a certain way. So that's why we wanted a big house, so we wouldn't have to share rooms, and we could share craft rooms or computer rooms, and we could both have things how we wanted them to look. But even though we do have a 4-bedroom house, we decided to only use one of the rooms as an office, and then leave the other 2 rooms as guest rooms, because we will be having a lot of visitors. You know, my parents will visit, and then his parents will visit, and if they schedule visits for the same time, we want to be able to house them at the same time. So we just decided to leave the 2 bedrooms and then 1 office and then the master bedroom. So like I said, there's really no craft room except for the corner right next to the kitchen, which I also share with the dog because his crate is, his pen, his huge doggy pen is there. Oh boy, it's a lot. But I know you're here for some crochet, and I do have so much crochet to talk to you guys about. So even though I did crochet a lot of cacti, I don't have any to show you whatsoever. They all stayed at home, or some people took them during the wedding. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna take these. And of course, go ahead and take them. That's what I made them for. I don't want 30-something cacti in, not even my house, my parents' house, because, you know, I just couldn't bring all that stuff here. Like, I don't have, my wedding clothes stayed at home because the dress was really heavy and I just didn't fit in my luggage. Like, almost everything wedding related stayed in my house, which is kind of sad. But I have 4 finished objects to share with you. I know, you know, you'd think in the 2 months I'd have more, but hey, I did crochet 30-something cacti, so we can start with that. I just can't show you pictures of any of them, so I'll try and include pictures here of where the cacti were during the wedding, or you could head on over to the blog because the pictures are there. So one of the first things I finished that was not wedding related was an update on the Shield Maiden pattern. I haven't actually written it up, but I made this with a thinner yarn. This is, I would say this is Aran weight cotton, and it is 100% cotton by Casa Sol Filicolor. I was dying to use this. This is the color Caldera, which is, it's really a brick, I would say it's a brick orange. It's a beautiful earthy tone orange. So it's more like a brick orange. It's beautiful. And the updates I did to it is, if you remember, the original Shield Maiden was a V-neck, and I actually am not a fan of V-neck tops. I prefer this crew neck, or kind of like this vintage looking neck. So I did that, and it's the same neck that appears in the Learn to Crochet, Love to Crochet top, but of course I adjusted it for the stitch count I had. It's just the same basic style neck. It's not the same pattern, it's the same style. And the reason I'm not wearing it is because I actually should have made the body, the top part of the body, a bit longer here, so it would actually cover my chest. It's halfway through my chest, so I'll have to wear a shirt under it, which I don't mind, but I still haven't even worn this to take pictures to update the pattern. So that was the first, that was the first finished object that was not crochet wedding related. The second one, I'm gonna go through these kind of quickly because it's gonna take a long time. But anyway, the second one is this virus shawl. And I wanted to crochet a virus shawl because on the 6th of June, it was the first time I ever uploaded. It was my podiversary, my 3rd podiversary, the first time I ever uploaded a video to YouTube. And I wanted to celebrate by kind of making the things that I was talking about in the first episode. So I talked about a garment, so that's why I finished this Shield Maiden. And then I was talking about a virus shawl that I finished, so I crocheted up a virus shawl. And I made this using Lion brand shawl in a ball. It was in Mom's stash. And this is a 50% cotton, 50% acrylic blend. I used a 5mm hook, and it was just really, I can't say it was enjoyable because I was crocheting this during those months that I really didn't want to crochet, but I was pushing myself to finish it because this was supposed to be a gift for my mother-in-law. So I can't say I fully enjoyed it just because of the, the mindscape I was in while I was crocheting it. But just looking at it now, I remember liking how the yarn was working up, and I really loved the gradients and the colors, and it's black and white, so it'll go with everything. I haven't woven in the ends yet because I want to block it before I weave in the ends to kind of stretch out the stitches and everything. And I just think it'll open up and look so beautiful. And because it is cotton acrylic, and I used such a big hook, I'm hoping she'll be able to use it in Puerto Rico. Of course, I asked Edison if he thought she would like it, and he said that he saw Mom wearing this more than his mom just because she really likes earth tones, neutrals, so browns and brick oranges and things like that. So I'm a bit undecided. The only issue I had, and that wasn't with the pattern, it was with the yarn itself. So there was a huge section of yarn that was this way. It didn't have any yarn, actually. It was just the cotton thread. So that was really, really annoying to work with because there was a huge section that I had to cut out and then reattach. But overall, I'm very happy, and making this pattern, now that I know more about crocheting, it was so interesting because I remembered while I was crocheting it the first time, the pattern didn't make sense to me. I was just making it because that's the way the instructions said to make it. But now that I've been, 3 years later, crocheting so much more, it was like, whoa, I get it. This is repetitive, I can see the pattern and I can memorize the pattern. So that was a really, really interesting experience. And I have to say that I really liked it. So I think I'm gonna revisit some projects that I've completed before and maybe make them again and see how I feel about them now and see how far I've come in my crochet, because I can see things where I couldn't before. I didn't really feel like there was a pattern the first time I was crocheting it, and now I can see that pattern, you know, I can feel the pattern that I was working up, and it was just so beautiful, you know. I felt really, really happy making it. So while my mindscape was really, let's get this done, I have to finish it, and obviously I didn't because she doesn't have it. I still remember that feeling of, wow, this is a pattern, this is the structure, this is the pattern repeats, and I don't remember noticing that the first time I crocheted it. So I thought it was really, really fun. And then the second item I finished, it's something super fun and in a completely different vein to the virus shawl, meaning it is absolutely not neutral colored or black and white. No. It is the Top Amelia by Susie Muse, Laura from Susie Muse. She is a Spanish, as in Spaniard, designer, and I really, really love her patterns. Most of her patterns are free. You can find them in her blog. Sorry about that, guys. The dog keeps interrupting me because he really wants attention, as if he didn't have enough attention before. I only played with him for an hour. But anyway, let's get back to this beautiful crochet top that I have yet to show you. But this was the project that really got me out of the crochet funk. And I noticed something else while I was working on this Amelia top. I've turned into a monogamous crocheter again. And I like it. You start one project and you finish it, and then you move on to something else. And I think I especially like it when it has to deal with designs, because it keeps the design just fresh in your mind, and you can write it up, and I don't know, you just don't forget what you're doing. I noticed that it's one of the problems I was having when I was designing. I was thinking about so many different projects that when I sat down to write the pattern, I didn't know what I had done, so I had to start a new one again. But anyway, back to this beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna show it to you because I keep saying it's beautiful. I haven't showed it to you. Look at that. It is exactly that bright. It is. It's this bright, vivid green. It is, the color is Granny Smith, and it is Bernat Softy Baby Cotton, which I absolutely loved this yarn, okay? I have it here. And I absolutely loved this yarn. It's showing up really true to color. It's kind of blowing out the camera a little bit because it's so acid green. And this is a blend of 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. It is so soft to work with, and I almost feel it's got a combed quality to it. It's not really combed cotton because there are plies around it, but I still feel that it yielded a beautiful stitch definition, and it is a DK weight. For this pattern, I used the recommended hook size, so I started with a 3mm hook and then I went to a 3.5mm hook. It is super fun pattern, super simple to work. It is also super simple to work up, and I did soak this and didn't really block it, but I did wash it because I didn't want it to grow a lot. The pattern was originally designed to work up with 100% cotton, and since this had acrylic in it, I knew it would stretch a lot more. But the pattern is worked in the round. It's completely in double crochet stitches. Obviously here you have some chain spaces, but it's a chart. So if you don't understand Spanish, you can still follow the chart. And if even then you aren't really sure of what's going on, you can always write to me and I'll translate the stitches for you because the numbers stay the same, right? She said this was a size medium, but I feel like it's a small medium. It fit me fine, a little bit big at the top for my taste. So I still feel like I'm gonna go back in and put some single crochets to make the yoke smaller because it does fall off the shoulder, but it is still such a beautiful top, so flattering, so fitting. This is also cropped. It reaches just a little bit below my belly button, which kind of just sits right at the hip area, and I just feel it looks so beautiful. And I loved crocheting this top. I loved every single moment of this top. I loved the yarn, I loved the project, I loved the color. I'm all about this green, guys, you know me. Chartreuse, Granny Smith greens, love it. And chartreuse kind of brings us up to the fourth finished object, and it's this lovely placemat. And I crocheted this placemat using Bernat Maker Big, like big. I'm gonna just pull an individual strand so you can see how thick this is. I used a 15mm hook, or I believe it's actually a 15.75mm hook. That's a boy hook, one of the blue big ones. And like I said, Bernat Maker Big, which is a cotton nylon blend. Ugh, I also loved every minute of crocheting this up. This is the back, and this is the front of this placemat. And what happened was that we got a new dining room table, and I wasn't finding any placemats that are really called out to me. I knew I wanted something gold or something in a bold color because the dining room table is dark brown with black. So I really wanted something that was just gonna pop out. And incidentally, we went to Joann's because Mom was looking for a specific type of yarn that she didn't really find, but they had this Bernat Maker Big on clearance. It was 50% off, so I bought all the balls that were left of this. I bought 5 balls, and with those 5 balls, I crocheted 6 placemats, 6 round placemats. So, I just love it. They're so squishy. You can find the pattern on my blog for free as well, and it's really simple, guys. It's really simple. I really encourage you to try it. You can make it smaller, or you can go big. You know, you could make it bigger and make a rug out of it. I think it'll still look beautiful as a rug. This is a simple increase square. So, you know, you start out with the number, you do 2 times the increase, and then you start increase 1, double crochet. This is all done in double crochets, and then the border is done in single crochet clusters. So, and the color is chartreuse in this. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You can see I'm really all about this green, guys. So that is all the finished items I have, and I wish I had more garments to show you because I'm still feeling the garment love. But I am working on a crochet garment. It's not a blouse, it's not a top, it's not a sweater, it's not anything that goes on the top part of your body. It's actually a skirt. And it is a skirt that is living in this project bag, which is not really a project bag. This is an, I bought it from IKEA. It's actually kind of a insert for your purse. But it's so perfect to keep projects in because there's so many pockets, and it's made out of fake felt. So I love using it. And the project that's in there is being crocheted with this beautiful, this is showing up a little bit more orange on camera than it is in real life, but this is such a beautiful blend, and you can see right there the plies. It is chain plied, so it'll give you beautiful crochet texture, which it really is. And this is by Knit Crate, Vida Lana. It's called Vida Lana Aloft. The colorway is Tiger Lily, and it is 48% merino wool, 20% baby alpaca, 32% organic cotton, DK weight 274 yards, 100 grams, and it suggests between 3.25 and 3.75 millimeter needles. I am actually using a 4mm needle, a hook for this project, and I cannot say enough good things about this yarn. It is so squishy. The texture it's producing, it's beautiful. I love the color. My nails kind of match. I love the color and I love the blend. And what I find really interesting is that usually I'm super, super sensitive to alpaca. I can feel the prickliness of alpaca, but this, I don't feel that way. It feels so good and it smells so good and it's so soft and fun. Seriously, I love it. And I am crocheting a skirt. Yeah, that's what I'm crocheting. I'm crocheting another skirt. And the pattern, of course, will be on my blog, available for free. And it was really funny because when this yarn arrived, I had 2 balls arrive in my Knit Crate membership crate, and I saw the color, saw the blend, and I immediately knew it had to be a crochet garment. But of course I only had 2, and I'm getting tired of playing the game because I know that with 2 hanks of DK weight yarn, I do not get a full garment. So I bought a 3rd one, and I really wanted to design a top, but I just wasn't feeling it. I tried so many times and it just wasn't working. So I said, you know what? Let's make a skirt. So I started by rescuing an elastic from a pair of pajama pants that no longer fit because they really shrunk in the dryer. So they're like hot pants and I just don't like them. So I cut off the elastic, and that's what I used because the elastic does fit. And then I did a single crochet, flat band single crochet, and wrapped it around, and it turned out I had 134 rows of single crochets. So I was gonna have 134 stitches for that first round. And then I was trying to picture, I didn't want a really full skirt like the Christmas velvet skirt. I wanted more of a A-line skirt, something a little bit tighter on the body because I wanted to use this Suzette stitch, and I thought it would look better in a less voluptuous fabric. And then I remembered that one of the only crochet skirts I have, well, the only crocheted skirt I have made is a drops free pattern, and it's the skirt, A-line skirt with grinding squares at the bottom. So I looked it up just out of curiosity, and the size small starts with 134 stitches as well. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna break. It's really interesting because I was gonna design a skirt with 134 stitches. So I just decided to use the stitch count provided and work out the increases. So I did that, and I'm using a half double crochet stitch, which is really obvious if you look at the seam. If you look at the seam, because half double crochet stitches tend to lean towards the right, and they'll keep leaning towards the right, and they'll make your seam carry. So you can see that there. Yeah, that was a bit, it was annoying. I should have remembered that half double crochet stitches do that because it also happened to Mom on a project she was working on, and I should have just decided to work it completely circular instead of joining in the round each time. But I kind of left it as is, and I am trying to work on this trick this lady does that kind of makes it fade out, because here you can see that the seam, half double crochet seam, is fading. But I've essentially finished the increases on this skirt, so now it's just straight down, and then a Suzette stitch will come into play. So this is my second, and this is the cake, and this is the hank. So that's the project I'm working on, and it's the only project I'm working on. Like I tell you, I've been super, super monogamous, and I enjoy it. I feel that I can give all my love and attention to one project, and when I get tired of crocheting, I just sit down and read. I don't actually pick up another project. As it stands, I have done zero knitting for 2 months, more than 2 months actually. Almost feel like it's 3 months since the last time I did any knitting whatsoever. The other projects that you're probably curious about are the Aster top, because I haven't mentioned it in ages. It's getting frogged. I don't like the yarn choice because it was designed for cotton, so playing around with it in wool I had to make it about two sizes smaller, and I really didn't do that. So I'm frogging it, and I'm gonna look for a new project that I can use that beautifully marled yarn to make another garment that I'm gonna enjoy, probably, hopefully, definitely. Socks. The crochet socks I was designing are still in the same space they were, and I haven't worked on them. Obviously, I haven't worked on my knit socks either, and very embarrassingly, I have yet to start the Summer Romance Cowl project. Now, for those of you that don't know or are seeing this for the first time, the Summer Romance Cowl is a cowl that Claudia of the Crochet Placemat podcast and I have been hosting together for 3 years now. We just pick a theme during the summer. We pick a theme that the Summer Romance Cowl is going to be composed by. So the first time we made it, it was just like, I believe it was Couples You Love. And the second time, oh my God, what was I don't remember the theme of last year's. I know I did Draco Malfoy and Hermione Granger as a couple, and this year the theme is Opposites Attract, because it's kind of like playing homage to all those books and movies where you have the super cliche one is the really nerdy girl with the popular guy, or the really nerdy guy with the popular girl, and I chose the movie Can't Buy Me Love with Patrick Dempsey, and I have yet to start it. And to be fair, I just can't find the yarn I wound up to start the project. All my yarn is still packed up, so accessing it is a little bit tricky. I think I remember where I packed it, so I just have to look again. It just came to me one day that I was winding up yarn. I was like, oh, I think I put it in this bag, but I haven't actually checked yet. And I was planning on knitting a pair of socks for Can't Buy Me Love, but I never, ever finish a project that I set myself for the Summer Romance Cowl. So I really want to finish this one. And I guess I'm gonna go with crochet socks because I can crochet socks pretty fast. But first I want to finish that skirt. And I was gonna say wind up the yarn, but I know I already balled up the main yarn for the socks. So I need to check if the mini skein I'm gonna use for the contrasting toes in heel is wound up, which I'm pretty sure it is as well. So I really, I have a lot of ideas, and I have a lot of things I want to design and projects I want to make, and so much stuff, but so little time. For real, there is no time for anything. But I guess I can just share with you now a little bit of what's going on in my life, because even though I did say you can find me in social media, I haven't really been active in social media. I really walked away from it. And I think that just started when I got married. Since I wasn't crafting, I wasn't really looking at Instagram or going in there, and I lost the habit I had created of checking Instagram 3 or 4 times a day. And I have to say, for that month or 2 months that I almost cut off Instagram completely, I didn't really miss it. I missed interacting with my friends and all of you guys, all of the Insta friends and all of the friends I met in real life. Yeah, I missed interacting with you, but at the same time, it made me want to find a new platform where I could interact with you guys on a more one-on-one level, because the Instagram algorithms keep changing, so people keep getting hidden from the feed, and I have to search for them if I want to see what they're up to. And I know I'm not the only one that's happened to, so it's probably happened to you too if I don't pop up in your feed and you're like, hey, wait a minute, is she doing anything? So I just really want to find a different platform to interact with everybody. And then I just thought, well, I have a blog and it's a pretty great way of interacting with people. So I really want to get back to posting on my blog and just answering all your comments and having all of you participate and just tell me what you're up to, you know? And also head up to the Ravelry group for the Summer Romance Cal. There are so many gorgeous projects there. Garments, scarves, tops, oh, just everything under the sun. And it's so absolutely beautiful. And hey, Ravelry is a great way to also keep in touch because I know a lot of you use Ravelry. And it's a great platform. I could just create a topic of tell me what you're up to and we can just all chat there together in our crafty community because why not? And I don't know what else to say, guys. I feel like when I sat down, I had so much to tell you and now it's just escaped my mind completely. The other thing I guess I could talk to you guys about is the new job. So I'm a social media specialist for a local company, and while it sounds really fun and I had really, really high expectations of it, it's not that great. I don't want to get into too many details about it because it's, I don't know, I guess I never really liked talking about my job on the podcast. So if it's something that interests you and you want to know about, then feel free to write me a private message on Ravelry or through the email, and I will gladly answer. I know that Claudia asked me about a house tour. It'll come, you know, I will give you guys a house tour, just I want to get a bit more organized around here before I show you the space because there's still a lot of boxes. We're still receiving furniture that we are putting together and things like that. So yeah, I didn't want to show you guys the mess. Although I guess it's kind of expected. We've been living here less than a month, so we're not done with all the putting away and figuring out what type of aesthetic we want this house to have and things like that. I think that's been the hardest part about moving in, figuring out an aesthetic that Edison and I can agree on. Because as I mentioned, we don't agree on any type of furniture. So when we actually agree on a furniture, it's like buy it, done, forget how much it costs because we agreed that's great. But yeah, guys, I feel like I'm missing things that I wanted to tell you, but I don't remember what they were. So I guess I will just leave it here and catch up with you guys at another time. Happy crafting. Bye.